Wow, wow, wow. We are live. Welcome, everyone, to our Success Mastermind for Thursday, the 7th of April, 2022. I got lightning striking right down the street. It is a wet and rainy day here in, and I got to turn off my sound on my YouTube. There we go. Yeah, here we are. Welcome. Thursday, April 7th, 2022. And rainy day in Florida. So wherever you are, hope you're having a good one and you're staying dry. Of course, I'm not used to all this because I'm more used to the desert. Of course, in the summertime in Arizona, we get the torrential rains, but they come and go. Tell you what, though, it is nice to have stuff that just grows. It's nice to have water. That's one of the reasons we live here now. Anyway, good to see you all. Today is Thursday. So the only thing on the calendar for today, let me just double check. Yes, is this. So if you're a member here, here's our general session. We do have our hospitality suite open at all times. And yes, I am looking to put a couple more things on the calendar, probably on Thursdays, as it relates to specific businesses that some of our members are operating. So kind of like a focus group, masterminding on business-specific items. And I'm looking at Thursdays for that. Right now, we're in the heat of battle with a bunch of other stuff. So I haven't had the mental bandwidth to put on that. But of course, many of you know how to, if you're a member here, you know how to get in touch with me because I'm happy to help our members with whatever you're working on. That being said, the title for today's talk is The Complete Picture. The Complete Picture is what I wanted to talk with you about today, because I know we've got a lot of intentional people here intending to create success in a variety of different areas of life. That's very nice. Okay, but and we've talked about this in a few different ways already. I'm going to talk about it again in this way. If we're vague about what it looks like and what it feels like to have actually accomplished the intention, right? The thing that you're showing up and making an effort towards accomplishing. If you're vague about the nuances of what it's like to have actually accomplished that, then you're not working with the law to the degree that you could be. Here's what I mean by this. There are a variety of laws that people have enumerated and elucidated and promulgated, throughout the history of thought. And one of those laws is the law of vibration. And it's also been called, people combine different things into, new laws that they like to coin and sell books and whatever, law of attraction, et cetera. But the idea of vibration is that nothing rests. Everything's in a constant state of vibration. And if we get down to like quantum physics, which I'm not a physicist, okay, but you can talk to these guys and they use like particle accelerators and these, quantum microscopes and whatever, and they can get down into subatomic particles. So here's solid matter, okay, but is it? Proportionately speaking, there's more space in between each atom of this so-called solid thing than there is between the Earth and the moon, proportionately speaking. So if Earth was a particle and the moon was a particle, they would actually be closer together than the particles that are in that thing. So it's mostly space. And if you break it down even further into the tiny little quarks and whatever the little things are called, the subatomic components of matter, you would find that there are potentialities, that they're wavelengths. In fact, you can prove this. You could take, let's say, for example, water. All right. So I'm experiencing water right now, right outside my window. Lots and lots of water. Okay. So here's water at room temperature or whatever, and it's a liquid, right? You could heat it up and you could turn it into a vapor, right? And here's steam. And if you continued heating, and what do we know about heat? Increases vibration, right? Faster, 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 right? You keep heating it, it would turn into, ether or, some sort of a gas. But it's the same product, right? It's the same item, just at different rates of vibration. And there is no like line of demarcation really. I mean, obviously with water, certain temperatures produce certain effects, right? So we could say scientifically, yes, here's the freezing temperature, here's the boiling temperature. That's simple enough. But in terms of our use of mind and our, operating our lives, it's all kind of like a rainbow. It's all connected. right? So there's a spectrum of vibration or thought, right? That you can kind of slide up and down that spectrum or that gradient, and reside most chronically and most often reside in some frequency range. So if you think of it like frequencies, right? Lower frequencies, higher frequencies, and higher frequencies always dominate lower frequencies. Okay, so they go shooting out right into the ethers, right, into all knowingness, into universal consciousness and stuff like this. We're talking about thought now. Okay, but lower, baser, animalistic or competitive or gross matter type thoughts, right, are lowly, right? Here's the caveman, in the mud or something, right? So if you think about your spectrum of thought or your spectrum of emotion, there's higher emotions, lower emotions, higher thoughts, lower thoughts, higher frequencies, lower frequencies. And because this is communication, that's what we're talking about, communicating with our outer world, due to the internal dialogue, the communication that happens in our inner world, right? We tend to attract outwardly that which we are in resonance with inwardly. In other words, if I'm vibrating at this rate, then I will attract things that vibrate at that rate. And we can call that law of attraction. We can call that love, right? Think about somebody who bitches and gripes about their problem consistently. What are they saying? I love my problem. I am in resonance with my problem. This is the frequency I operate on. This is my identity. I am tuning into problem FM, right? So here's the frequency. And that's what you get. You get that. Now, in the classic book, The Science of Getting Rich, Wallace Wattles admonishes us, stop talking about that. Fine, you grow up broke, whatever. I guess, get it out of your system or whatever, but let the dead bury the dead, as Jesus said, right? So you want a trophy? You want sympathy? Like, why you keep talking about this? Because it's your identity? Well, stop it. You never help the poor by being one of them. Go get rich. Stop talking. Look, anyone who addresses, and this is what Wallace talked about, he said, you will never solve poverty. You will never solve poverty by addressing poverty, because what we think about expands, right? He said, we will not help the poor by getting more successful people to think about poverty. No, you'll eradicate poverty by getting the currently poor people to think more on law and principle and getting them inspired with your own demonstration. So go get rich, and then they can, stop being that. So don't even think of them as poor. Poor is an illusion. Poor is just like dis-ease, right? The truth is health. The truth is order, right? Prosperity, success. That's the truth. And we get in the way with our false concepts and like screwing up the frequencies over here, right? So don't even acknowledge it, right? I mean, think about, what you ignore goes away. Think about that, right? If you had, let's say you had a friend and you ignored them, right? Well, you would have less of them in your life, right? They're not being validated or acknowledged or whatever, or paid attention to. They're going to go do something else. Let's say you had a problem and you ignored the problem and only thought on the solution. This isn't saying you're cold-hearted or mean or in some new age state of denial or something. Okay, but here's this person, here's their problem. And what if you only saw them as their potential? Here's this person griping about whatever their situation is, but you see them, this is huge, by the way, but you see them as pure potentiality, as perfection, as their higher self, not their, act that they're demonstrating. Johann Goethe said, if I treat you as you are, I'll make you worse. But if I treat you as though you were that which you could become, I help you become that. So we have to disagree sometimes. Disagree. I disagree with these appearances. I disagree. Because here's where I'm going. We talked about this earlier this week. To think truth, here's where I'm going. To think truth, especially when it's contrary to appearances, is laborious. Aha, so here's the work. Here's the work. It's easy to tune into whatever random frequencies are coming your way. It's easy to go into agreement. But to think truth is laborious, which brings me to this whole idea of the complete picture. So if we are working with the law, okay, so in this case, the law of vibration is the one I'm citing. Okay, what does it mean to be on that vibration? Well, it means to have the attitude of success. Let me explain. An attitude is a culmination of your thoughts, feelings, and actions. Your attitude is defined by your thoughts, feelings, and actions. It is demonstrated by your thoughts, feelings, and actions. So to be on this frequency with integrity, like as within, so without, structural integrity, like for real, not fake, not a show, right? This is real now. But to do that for real requires taking thought, using what? The mental faculty of will, which is one of the wonderful things that we are here, that gives us dominion over our world and, the beasts of the earth and all this, right? So mental faculty of will, you can choose the right thoughts consistently. You can do that, okay? So our thoughts, which lead to what? Our emotional state. And now we can use another higher mental faculty, which is imagination. What does it feel like? We're crafting the complete picture here now. What does it feel like to experience that? It's not, oh, I hope, and I want to be nice that day, someday in the future, that would be nice, okay? But it's not right now. Okay, so imagine that it was right now. How would that feel? Maybe even write it down. Give us some nuance. Maybe see in your inner eye, hey, you know what? In fact, that reminds me of the other thing. Oh, write that down. And it crystallizes that, and we get into a harmonious vibration on a higher frequency, right? With the feelings, which also are a component part of our attitude. So our thoughts, our feelings, and then our actions. Here's the thing. When you are vibrating mentally and emotionally on this frequency, your actions are going to demonstrate that as well. You see, we cause things to come to us based on our vibration. Now, what you put out, you get back. You reap what you sow. So we're causing things to move in our direction with our thoughts and emotions, but we receive them through our actions. We appropriate them through our actions. So let's say, for example, and I've seen plenty of people do this, where they're going to sit around and watch The Secret or something, and think their way to riches, or healing, or whatever it happens to be. Picture it like this. Well, but they're not taking action, right? So picture it like this. So you're in the desert, and you are thinking of water. Okay, water. And you've erected this big wall around you. So here you are in the desert, and there's this wall around you, and there's the torrential rain, and it's coming downhill, and it's splashing against the wall, right? And yet here you are thinking water, and the water's right there, but you're not appropriating it because we've erected this wall. I don't know if that's a good metaphor, but you see, it's like, here's the universe saying rain, water, here you go. But because of our own paradigms, I must live behind walls or something. Well, now I can't appropriate the water. Woe is me. Maybe a silly example. I don't know. But there's another one. This was out of the Torah, I think, where here are the people wandering in the desert, and they're thirsty, and so they say to their leader, it may have been my goodness, I should know who this is. It wasn't Moses. Anyway, they said, we need rain. So the leader said, well, go pray to your God for rain. So he left for a while. He came back, and the people were like, oh, well, God has forsaken us. It still hasn't rained. And the leader looked around and said, well, where's the ditches? If you expected it to rain, you would have dug the ditches, to collect the rainwater. So to take thought, and only thought, isn't the whole story. We must appropriate through action that which is being delivered right on schedule. The action reveals the emotional state and the thought. That's the third component part of what people could look and say is our attitude. And how many of us have heard, you need to get a better attitude, young lady? All right, can you define attitude, Mom? Well, right. I mean, so some empty, instructions, if you will, but now you know. Now you know. All right. So what we've got to do, I think, is when we communicate through vibration and we get on that frequency, we got to have a complete picture of this. Napoleon Hill, in his classic book, Think and Grow Rich, talked about writing out your goal. Here's your clear statement of intent with desire. And what else did he say to include in that? Include what you intend to give in exchange. There's nothing, there's no such thing as something for nothing. Okay. And I intend to deliver, I shall deliver to the best possible quality and quantity in the services of such and such, whatever you do, right? To exchange with the marketplace. That could be an employee at the factory, that could be the entrepreneur, whatever it is, salesman. So the action is also in there, the appropriating action. It's not just, I want Lamborghini. It's, here's all the details of the Lamborghini and how much it costs, and now it's quantified, and the date upon which you intend to have it, and what you intend to do in exchange for it. How do you intend to appropriate Lamborghini? Well, I intend to exchange with the marketplace the best possible quality and quantity of service in the capacity of that. Now, there's an attitude adjustment, right? You also, it says when you do that with feeling. Well, how does it feel to have Lamborghini, to drive Lamborghini, to experience Lamborghini? And I don't give a damn about Lamborghinis. I'm just using some specific item as, something we can look at here. Well, how does that feel? Well, I feel so happy, grateful, confident, enthusiastic, empowered, prestigious. Pick whatever words are best for you. We're getting into an emotional state here. Thoughts, feelings, and actions. It's the total picture. We can communicate the total picture, and we hold that thought. We get pictures of Lamborghinis. We look at let's plan ahead and look at maintenance costs, not to mention insurance. By the way, where the hell are you going to drive it, right? You're going to need to replace that under cowl, right? The spoiler underneath, because those speed bumps are going to rip that friggin' thing right off. So put that in your budget too. So, assuming you intend to drive it, and not just sit there and look at it like Jay Leno with his garage full of stuff. You get the point? It's like, have the whole experience. Have the whole experience in advance. A couple things are going to happen. You're going to see more Lamborghinis in your life. Ultimately, you'll see one in your driveway. Or, this is interesting, you might decide, you know what, I've had quite enough. I don't even want the friggin' thing anymore. You know what, here's what I really want. Fantastic. Now it's showtime. Okay. So it's okay, right? We're not talking about changing like your life purpose or something. These are symbols, these are items, these are, whatever experiences, which for a time you will find important. How many of you right now, we're all adults here, how many of you have the same longing, desire, and appreciation for the toy that you couldn't live without when you were 7 years old? Now you may have some relics from your childhood, in a box, mementos or whatever. That's okay. But I don't know, pick a random item that you remember, a toy that you had when you were 5 or 7 years old or whatever. Are you still that desperate for that toy? Like, oh my goodness, I can't live without that. Probably not. I hope not. I hope not. There are like adults that collect like stuffed animals and stuff, and they some wacky people out there. I'll just leave it at that. It gets worse. It gets way worse. Okay. But anyway, you probably don't place as much importance on, I don't know, the stuffed bunny or something, right? Easter's coming up, so now I got bunnies on the brain. Okay, but so with a bear or whatever it was, as you do now on things like, I don't know, maybe Lamborghinis, maybe the retirement fund, the beach house, Now, at 7 years old, right, the stuffed animal, the bear, or whatever it was as significant as the beach house, maybe more significant, relatively speaking, right? Maybe that was like, man, I can't live without that. And did you get it? Yeah, you got it. Can you do that now? When you were getting this stuffed bear, were you vague, or did you have a complete picture with total intention? It was pretty complete. And of course, the action part of that was, just basically ask for it 10 million times, demonstrate some persistence, and eventually the squeaky wheel gets the oil and you got the thing. You got the thing. It's written that before you speak, I hear you, right? And it's the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. I'm getting biblical today. Well, go appropriate then. I mean, look, I don't think anyone's been given a desire without also being given the means for its fulfillment. Self-denial sucks, right? Yeah, I want, but I can't have. What the hell is that? I'll tell you what that is. That's the fake news. That's fake news right there. You can't have. That's a game to keep you under control. Don't run that game on yourself. Complete picture. And you don't even have to have all the answers on how to get it. In fact, you don't have all the answers. But more is revealed as you take action and walk the path. More is revealed. And the picture gets more complete and more crystallized. But if you're vague, not only are you not acting, right? Definite action, right, comes from definite decisions, right? So if you're vague, you're not definite, but also you're not in the emotional state to attract that which you could then appropriate through your actions. Back to Wallace Wattles in the book, he talks about if all of your actions are efficient ones, you cannot help but get rich. It has to work. So what does that mean? So your actions are done with a deep sense of gratitude, with purpose and faith. That's what makes your actions efficient. So as we're going forth and we're doing the work, right? The real work is here, okay? But as we're doing the appropriating work, setting up the receiving pipelines to get stuffed animals and Lamborghinis and whatever, okay? As we're doing that, we do that with fixity of purpose and with faith that we're actually going to get what we set out to get. That's the certain way, the way of no doubt. Purpose and faith. And the emotional state that we operate from can and should be a deep sense of gratitude. Gratitude for what? Gratitude for what we already have. What do we already have? We already have a knowing, a faith, a purpose, an expectation that things are being delivered right on schedule. Well, all right then. I'm grateful for what I have. And the stuff shows up. I know it does. That's great. Before I speak, he hears me. The idea here is to pray without ceasing. This is what Paul said. To pray without ceasing. Things of beauty, things of good report. Think on these things. So the prayer is for you. It's your reminders. It's not, you don't need to supplicate or, put in your order or something. Before you speak, I'll hear you. The prayer is for you. Pray without ceasing. Keep that image crystallized. Guys, I hope you're getting something out of this, whether you're here with us live right now, or you're going to watch this on YouTube, or maybe 100 years from now, or whatever. By the way, today we're kicking off our CEO Freedom Challenge. Me and Shannon. That's mostly Shannon's gig. She's like awesome at this stuff. It's free. You can go to, what the hell's the link? Hold on a second here. I'll put it in the video description. So you can all, if you're seeing this, in present time or close to present time, you can participate as you like. So let me go ahead and put that link in here right there. CEOFreedomChallenge.com. There it is for any of our friends here who are with us live. CEOfreedomchallenge.com. It's going to be sick. It's going to be awesome. And I'm going to be participating over the next few days. And then Shannon's going to be releasing something really special. If people want to really take this on and like blow up 2022. And she's among the best in the world at helping people do that. So anyway, I'm done talking. Anybody got some ideas on the complete picture that you're operating with and communicating with, or not? Right? I mean, that's the other part of it. What's up, Catherine?
Yeah, this was a brilliant talk. Thank you for this one. I feel like I've been in a slump lately, and I think I was getting caught up in little minutia. It just, things I didn't need to worry about. And so I think I needed to kind of take a step back. So this really helped. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you for jumping out here. Is that fly paper?
Yes, we're starting to get flies.
Does it actually catch flies? I hung fly paper once and like the flies totally avoided it. They're everywhere else except the fly paper. I was like, this is stuff in the garbage. And it was all sticky.
Yeah, it helps. But honestly, I think one of our dogs is a better fly hunter than that thing is.
Ah, okay. Very good. Very good. Well, yeah, 'tis the season.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. I'll tell you one thing, guys, completely off topic. Now that I'm thinking of flies, there are these bags that you can get at Home Depot or whatever. It's a fly catcher bag. I think they use them around like horse stables and stuff. And I think you just add some water and it's got some stinky stuff in there and it attracts the flies. So we wound up trying that. This was back in Arizona. There was like this plague of flies that came through at one point. And so we put the bag, and this thing, it was disgusting. I think that they said the capacity was approximately 10,000 flies. 10,000. And like it worked. Like it definitely attracted the flies. But after that, what do? Get another one and get more flies? So we wound up abandoning that too, because my goodness, did it work. Yeah. I think the trick would be to put it in your neighbor's lawn, right? So yeah. Hey, great news. I got you a present. Here's the fly attracting thing, and it's going to work. It stunk too. Oh, look what you got, Lindsay. Oh, come on out here, Lindsay. I know what that is. I know what that thing is. Show us.
I've broken so many light fixtures with this because I forget I'm not playing tennis. But you zap them. There will not be a fly escape me. I refuse. I hate flies.
That's great. That's great. So for anybody who doesn't know what that is a product. I think it's $3 or something from Harbor Freight. Right?
Yes.
Harbor Freight. And it's the electronic fly zapping, tennis racket thing. And the problem with it, though, is what Lindsay just said is like you get this weapon in your hand and you're like ready to attack. Next thing you know, you're smashing stuff.
Oh, yes, yeah. I've broken more. But you zap them until Cole's like, you can smell that, Mom. That fly's dead. I'm like, well, it's sizzling. It's not. I'm not letting up. Yeah.
Oh man.
$5 ever spent.
Yeah, $5 item to cause $1,000 worth of damage. So, oh my goodness, towels are, I think, the best. I think. Okay. Actually, the best is to just get the whole which Virginia saw my patio. We've got this lanai or whatever, and it's completely covered with the whole thing, and there's like screen doors that go in and out to the rest of the yard, but we have no bugs. So there's that. I don't know what it costs to put one of those things in. Do you guys do that in Alabama? Do you do the covered lanai with the screens?
Yeah, my parents have one. We don't, but I don't know how you get rid of the bugs in Alabama. Just being honest.
Well, I think that's the answer. You get to, I don't know,
screen porches, yeah.
Yeah, screen porches are the best. We don't have one, but yeah.
Okay. Well, it's like everywhere here in Florida, which was like a culture shock thing for me. So I was thinking, wow, this is awesome. Why don't we do this in Arizona? Probably because the metal would melt. I don't know. I mean, it's, you get to.
No, it would preserve. It's in the desert. It would stay preserved. But there's not that many bugs, even out here in New Mexico. I don't see any. I saw a fly the other day for the first time.
Wow. Virginia, welcome to the call. We're talking about having the complete picture of where we're going in our mind, communicating on that vibration, thoughts, feelings, actions, the whole thing, definite, nothing vague, complete communication, complete intention. That's the topic that you just walked in on. Okay.
Thank you. Yes, sorry I'm late. I was on another call that went an hour and a half.
Well, good for you. That's awesome. Must have been interesting. All right, guys. Any other thoughts on the complete picture today?
You're right, though. Kids do have the complete picture of exactly what they want. There's
Mhm.
no, and I was thinking when I was, and it really, even when, I was graduating high school and I knew the card, I was going to get for graduation, I had the exact specifications, and my dad delivered it right on time. I mean, that's just how it was, but I knew exactly what I wanted. And it wasn't, there wasn't no vagueness about it. Why do we lose that? Why is it so much harder to do as we get older? Or I guess is my,
Come
why
again? What was that?
why is it difficult, I guess, as we get older to be that specific? I don't.
Oh, because we've had it beaten out of us. You daydreamer, or don't you know there's limits to everything? Or who are you again? Right. So the whole idea of counter intention, doubt, the opposite of the certain way, right? Lack of faith, vague purposes, cross purposes, yes, but, right? Do kids have the yes, but? They have less of it if they have any of it, right? I mean, an infant is born with no but. I don't mean no, but, okay, but you know what I'm saying, right? An infant is born with milk now. No, there's no Q&A, there's no but, there's no considerations, right? Milk now, end of communication. Milk now. So who does us in?
That one myself.
Thanks, Lindsay. Glad you're here. All right, anybody else? I'm just getting texts. All right, well, Catherine, thank you for your share here today. Edward, good to see you. Virginia, good to see you. We're gonna get together again here tomorrow for Fun Friday. In the meantime, I would say, review The Science of Getting Rich, review maybe a chapter 2 out of Think and Grow Rich, and craft that image completely, the complete idea. And then when you think on that and you reside in the emotional state of that, you find yourself moving towards that. Wow, whole different conversation. Anyway, love you guys. Thank you for being here. I'm going to be live with Shannon at the top of the hour on CEOFreedomChallenge.com. So if you want to tune into that, it's going to be awesome. I'll see you guys again real soon. Have a great day. Bye for now.